Story you'll see only on Western Mass News. 11 days after a Springfield man went missing, his family says they're now refocusing their search. Western Mass News reporter James Villalobos has been following this story all along, spoke exclusively again tonight to his parents, and he's here now to tell you what they had to say. James?
Yeah, that's right, Dave. Out of full disclosure, I did go to high school with Achim, and many people have questions online about this case, and now with thousands following it, Western Mass News has been working exclusively with his family to find answers.
I can't understand it.
Two parents.
I just can't understand it. Why would somebody do this to me?
Sitting side by side, patiently waiting for answers close to 2 weeks after their son, 23-year-old Achim Bailey, went missing. His dad, Hugh, telling Western Mass News that most nights he doesn't go to sleep until 7 a.m.
I don't think felt like I could even go to sleep in the dark while I know my son is out there.
But he's hoping the community can help bring closure. On January 13th, Achim Bailey went missing after a night out at Samuel's at the Basketball Hall of Fame. His dad says that at 1:40 a.m., cameras captured him being escorted out of the bar. Shortly after, he was seen leaving, heading towards Hall of Fame Avenue. Springfield police say that thanks to street cameras, they spotted Achim walking towards Bolin Way, but then cameras lost sight of him as he entered a parking lot near the Memorial Bridge. Cameras later captured someone believed to be Achim walking down the railroad tracks, heading towards the South End Bridge close to 3 a.m. That is the last location his phone would be pinged. The dad says that while police have been searching, so have family and friends.
We found nothing, nobody, no clue, no clothing, nothing that indicated that he was here or something happened. So it's kind of like it's a mystery, if you ask me.
A mystery that he says simply isn't making sense, but that someone has an answer to.
There must be something out there or someone out there that can tell us something, because you can't be seen at a certain location and 10, 11 days later, nothing. People just don't disappear in thin air.
That's why Hugh says they are now refocusing their search and beginning to look on the opposite side of where their search has been centered.
We did pan over to the east somewhat, but now let's look at these cameras that we've been ignoring all along, and let's see if we can find something or something that will get us closer to really find our son and bring our son back home.
Achim's parents say they're living in a nightmare, but they're hoping you can help.
Wherever he is, we just need him back home safely. That's all we want, so he can continue with his life all over again, We miss you, boy. We're just hoping you'll come home soon.
And a billboard has gone up to remind anyone with information to contact the Springfield Police Department. At this time, the family tells us they are desperate for some kind of lead, and they continue to offer a $6,000 reward.
Following the latest developments in the search for a missing Springfield man, today a phone believed to be Achim Bailey's was found in the area where it was last seen pinged the night he went missing. Western Mass News reporter James Villalobos has been following the story, spoke with one of the individuals who was there when it was found, and tells us what that moment was like for him. James.
Yeah, Jeff, so I spoke with Keno White, who says just like many others in the community, he just wanted to help. He just never expected to become the center of the case's only lead known at this time. Keno White didn't know Achim Bailey, but like many others, hearing about his case struck him. He says he's already active in the community and wanted to spread the word and help Friday's search. But he says before he even got there, someone who was searching alone reached out to him on Facebook to tell him that he found something.
I get down to the place about 9 o'clock. At that time, he was on the phone with me saying, I found a phone, out of breath.
You don't even know this guy?
I don't even know this guy. He just seemed like he was excited, like there was a lot going on.
Keno says that the man had already turned on the phone.
When he hands me the phone, he says, I already turned it on. And when he placed it on the phone, he said, I already turned it on. And I grabbed the phone by its sides because I didn't want to touch anything. I didn't want to touch the front, the back, misconstrue any kind of evidence of anything like that.
He didn't realize the emotional toll that moment would take on him.
When the phone came on, that's when I started seeing the notifications pop up. We miss you, we love you, all the Facebook notifications. And it was kind of like a lot to take in at the time because it's happening all so fast.
He tells Western Mass News that at that moment, he realized the responsibility he had of telling the family.
Speaking father to father, honestly just broke me down because I couldn't imagine having one of my kids out there missing, all this publicity and even this negative energy that's kind of wrapped around it, just kind of creating a snowball effect, and you somehow cannot escape it.
He says many in the community have been pointing fingers at him, something that he says he didn't ask for, considering he's just trying to help.
I honestly just feel numb, emotionally drained, because over this entire situation, about the phone being found, about the public's view on things and the rumors and everything that's going around, especially on social media, it just really, they just don't understand what it feels like to have to pick up the phone of somebody and call somebody that you don't know.
He says he hopes that this just helps bring Achim home.
Right now, it's not about who's to blame, it's how can we find him and bring him home to his family? How can we find closure for his family? And not just for the family, but now as the community, because everybody, I feel like, is so a part of this and so attached that I believe that we all deserve some kind of closure.
And I do want to reiterate that Kino did not find the phone. He simply called the family in this case, and police have not officially confirmed that it was indeed Achim's phone, but his family and friends say that it was. Police have taken the phone in for analysis.
Western Mass News continuing exclusive coverage of the search of 23-year-old Achim Bailey. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sarah Granelli. Today, Western Mass News reporter James Villalobos sat down and spoke exclusively with the man who found his cell phone during a search on Friday. James now joins us in studio with more on why that man is telling us his side of the story. James?
Yeah, Sarah, that man is Dante Pagan, and I initially tried reaching out to him Friday night, but at that time he didn't want to speak. But now, after receiving multiple threats, one including someone actually trying to break into his house yesterday, he says that he's concerned about his safety.
I found Achim's phone under the South End Bridge.
This is exclusive video sent to Western Mass News of the moment Dante Pagan says he found the phone belonging to Achim Bailey. Now, Dante says he's facing backlash for helping in the search.
A lot of people saying I'm the suspect, I'm the one that took the man's life, that had something to do with it, that, it's conspiracy theory, and, my family's in danger.
Dante says he was at the search at 5 a.m. on Friday, hours before a search party was set to begin at 9. He tells Western Mass News that it wasn't the first time he went out looking for anything that would lead to Achim's whereabouts.
If it was me in that position, with my daughter that I have, I would do anything for somebody like me, with the heart that I have, to go out of their way, out of their life, and go search for my daughter and find a clue.
He tells Western Mass News where he found the phone.
Let me clarify. A lot of people are saying that I took the phone because I was afraid of being hit by a train. I'm gonna clarify by saying the phone was not on the tracks. The phone was in the middle between both tracks. But anything could have happened.
He says because of its location, it wouldn't have been affected by the rain and snow. He picked up the phone, which he says was in pristine shape, because he was worried a homeless person might pick it up. He tells Western Mass News that given the backlash he has received for helping, he says he now realizes that he was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Happy I was in the wrong place at the wrong time and ended up finding the phone. Yes, I wish I had evidence of me being there with other people so they could be like, yo, he did find the phone, we found the phone, he was with us the whole time, but I don't got no alibi for that.
Dante says he doesn't want any of the reward money. He just wants someone to come forward and help the family.
Don't be afraid. If you have any information, come forward. Come forward. Don't be afraid. Look at everything I'm going through. Yes, I'm sad. Yes, I'm depressed. But I'm still trying to stay strong, and I'm still here, and I want everybody to have it clear that they had nothing to do with this, and whoever has information, please just come forward.
Now, I do want to make it clear that at this time, Springfield police say that there are no suspects in the search for Achim. The Bailey family wants me to tell everyone that the focus should be on bringing Achim home, not blaming anyone who's coming forward with lead.
Western Mass News has obtained surveillance video you'll see only here on the night that 23-year-old Achim Bailey went missing.
He is the Springfield man who hasn't been seen or heard from after a night out in downtown Springfield last month.
Western Mass News reporter James Villalobos following this story from the very beginning. He's here now with that exclusive video. James?
Yeah, Dave and Beth, this continues to be an active investigation, so that means videos and information is limited. But Western Mass News submitted a public records request for the street cameras in the area from the night Achim went missing. The video that you're about to see has already been viewed by investigators and his family.
It's been really, really hard on us, especially after 4 weeks.
Hugh and Dorothy Bailey are still desperate for answers as to where their son Achim may be. Achim was spotted by cameras leaving Samuels at the Hall of Fame at about 1:48 a.m. on January 13th after he was asked to leave by security for allegedly flirting inappropriately. And at about 1:52 a.m. the night that Achim went missing, cameras captured him walking north on Hall of Fame Avenue. Now we're getting a first look at Achim that night. Western Mass News has obtained surveillance video captured by a street camera at Union Street and Hall of Fame Avenue. Achim can be seen stumbling as he continues to make his way towards the Memorial Bridge. Management at Samuels tell Western Mass News that Achim showed no signs of being drunk, but his parents tell Western Mass News that it's a video that's hard to watch.
He was on the camera, you see him, he was really staggering out there.
Very
They should
heartbreaking.
have helped him.
Yeah. I don't even try to look at it anymore. I just
Very
can't really
heartbroken. They should have helped him.
And then minutes later, another set of cameras capture Achim walking here into the riverfront lot as he continues walking north on Hall of Fame Avenue towards the Memorial Bridge. But at one point, we lose sight of him as he gets closer to this wall. Although very hard to see in this video, Springfield police confirmed that cameras captured someone they believe to be Achim walking down the train tracks heading towards the South End Bridge. The place's phone would last be pinged at around 3 a.m. Together with police, the investigation into Achim's disappearance continues.
Our detectives are working on it and following up on every lead and backtracking all the way back to day one.
We're not going to give up. We're just going to keep doing our due diligence, and hopefully everyone else that's helping us will keep supporting us.
And police reiterate that Achim is alone in that video, as you can see for yourself. And the last true lead in this case came 2 weeks ago when Achim's phone was found near the South End Bridge.
Mass News continues our exclusive coverage of the search for Achim Bailey. He's the 23-year-old Springfield man who's been missing for more than a month now. His family now offering a new reward, this time with a different request. Western Mass News reporter James Villalobos has been following this story from the very beginning. Now, James, I know that this reward is separate from the one already being offered, right?
Yeah, that's correct, Dave. So the family has been offering a $10,000 reward for anyone who brings Achim back home safely. But now, close to 7 weeks after he first went missing, the family is offering a different reward. It's to anyone who can direct them to where Achim is and what happened to him. Achim Bailey's room is just the way he left it January 13th. The exception is a flyer from the night he went missing. His room has become a safe haven for his mom, Dorothy, during a time she says is absolutely surreal for their family.
Yeah, I pick up his clothes and I hold it on to me, close to me, and I just just feel like he's here with me, just holding on to one of his clothes, Just miss this kid.
Their living room couch, usually taken up by Achim, also empty.
Achim is kind of the love of our life, It's like right now we'll be right here probably watching the news, conversing, or even maybe telling them, make sure you go get your homework done.
Yeah,
and
having a conversation with him, about the game or something.
Achim's family tells Western Mass News that despite their offer of a $10,000 reward, they still don't have answers.
We just don't know where we are, and that's what's so sad. And that's what me and my wife were just talking about. I said it's a sad thing to feel like you're 7 weeks in and you have really no direction because, with no leads, you kind of really don't know where you are.
That's why they are now offering a new, firm $1,000 reward for anyone with information on where he may be and what happened to him.
So we figure if we create a second reward that's saying that, if he's injured, sick, or anything other than being well, that there's also a second reward out leading to someone giving us information that would lead up to his recovery.
Achim's family says their home is empty without him, and their life remains at a standstill.
We're just so close to graduating, and he has all these other ideas that he wants to do after graduation, like moving to Boston, get his first apartment on his own, and so forth. So we always be talking about his future and his future goal.
His mom and dad says they miss their conversations with Achim, something that you can't put a price tag on.
The money doesn't matter to us.
Money doesn't matter.
Our son is what matters. So we, that's why we're not looking on the monetary side of things. We just looking for people to be transparent. And, if it takes money just for someone to really be transparent, then, for us it's a good thing.
And as another day goes by without him home, they're hoping that you can help bring them some closure.
Oh, Achim, we miss you so much. Your dad, heart is aching. He just wants you back home.
Your mom is breaking. Her heart is breaking. I just want you to come home. We love you. We miss you. Wherever you are.
Yeah.
I hope you will be home soon. Because it's just like a nightmare for me and your father.
If you'd like to remain anonymous but have information that you'd like to submit directly to the family, they've created a new email account. We have that on our website, westernmassnews.com.
We begin tonight with breaking news as crews respond to the Connecticut River. I'm Beth Ward.
And I'm Jeff Kramer in for Dave tonight. Western Mass News was first on the scene for reports of a body possibly floating in the river.
Western Mass News reporter James Villalobos joins us now live from Long Meadow along the river with all the details. James?
Yeah, Jeff and Beth, I'm now standing on West Road, and it is behind these houses to my right that the investigators were looking into that area. Let's show you some video of that search earlier today. Calls for this report came in at about 4 o'clock this afternoon. We spoke exclusively with Anilo Russo of Long Meadow, who made that call to police after he was fishing here when he saw something with human-like features float by.
Never seen before. I've been fishing this river. I do tournaments on this river, bass fishing, and there's a lot of things that float around in the river because it's long, it goes here to the oceans, but I've never seen something like that, and that's what kind of made me call. I was like, that's not right.
Again, there was a number of agencies that was helping as part of the search. The Long Meadow Fire Chief tells me that includes Agawam, Long Meadow, West Springfield, and the state police, and the boats have now been taken off the water. And I do want to reiterate that we have not yet been able to confirm that a body was in fact found. This is being investigated as a possible body. We will, of course, bring you the very latest as it becomes available on air and online at westernmassnews.com. For now, live in Long Meadow, James Villalobos, Western Mass News.
Today marks 9 weeks since Achim Bailey's disappearance. He is the 23-year-old Springfield man that went missing after a night out in downtown Springfield. Western Mass News reporter James Villalobos joins us in studio with exclusively speaking with his friends tonight.
Yeah, Sarah, so just a reminder that on Friday, a body was pulled from the Connecticut River in Long Meadow, and shortly after, investigators went to the Bailey home to tell his parents that the description of that body matches that of Achim's. While there has been no official confirmation just yet, like his parents, his closest friends are now anxiously waiting for answers. Achim Bailey's friends walked the same sidewalk where he was last spotted on camera the night he went missing. For Jaquan Hicks, who has known him for several years, he says it takes an emotional toll on him.
It brings back sadness because I know he was here that night, cold, alone, and we don't know what's going on. We don't know what happened to him. We don't know anything for sure. It's only myths, people talking, yapping, and that's what really bothers me the most is that I don't know what happened to my bro at that time.
For Dion Moore Kelly, who has known Achim since freshman year of high school, he says he misses the positivity Achim brought into his life.
The man has a heart of gold. He is honestly one of the nicest people I ever met. Like, I could be at my lowest and he'll always pick me right back up. A kind soul.
They tell Western Mass News that not a day goes by where Achim isn't on their mind.
The weekend before that, I was with him at Sam's. They went to the casino. We stayed in his car outside my house for like an hour and a half talking about life and what he wants to do. But the whole situation, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, why would you kick him out when he's intoxicated and he's walking and y'all don't know if he has a ride or not?
His friends say over these 9 weeks, there have been more questions than answers.
The most frustrating part is the fact that he's not back and nobody knows anything or supposedly knows anything. Everybody, rumors left and right, but nobody knows concrete anything. It's bothersome. It's sickening.
They joke that Achim talks too much, but now all they want to do is hear his voice again. With news that a body was found from the Connecticut River on Friday, not far from where his phone was last pinged, they say now all they can do is sit and wait.
I don't want to hear that it was him and nobody was there for him. And nobody, I feel like we let him down.
I pray it's not him. I hope that the body is somebody else, even though I don't hope any harm on anybody else, but I pray it's not him. Like, I don't want him to be a body. I want him to come back home.
And Western Mass News has reached out to the state's medical examiner's office as well as the Hampden County DA's office to see if that body has been identified. At this time, we have not heard back.
We begin with the latest on 2 developing stories. Western Mass News was first to report from the start. A missing man in Springfield and the discovery of a body in the Connecticut River on Friday. Good afternoon, I'm Jeff Kramer. Western Mass News reporter James Villalobos spoke with police as the 2 are officially linked. He joins us now with the latest. James?
Yeah, Jeff, so we now know that the man that was found floating in the river last week is 23-year-old Achim Bailey. He's the man from Springfield whose family has been working exclusively with Western Mass News to gather details after he was reported missing on January 13th. Police say, unfortunately, this is not the ending that they were hoping for. This was the scene Friday in Long Meadow as police converge on the Connecticut River after receiving a call from a fisherman who thought he saw a body floating. Over the weekend, an autopsy was done and found that the body was Achim Bailey's, the man who went missing after a night out at Samuel's in downtown Springfield.
There are no signs of foul play or any physical trauma to Mr. Bailey at this time. He was found in the same clothes as he was last seen wearing the night that he disappeared.
Acting Commissioner Cheryl Clapprood tells Western Mass News that the lead detective on the case, John Lopez, has worked tirelessly following up on any tips that came in. The search also included the use of other agencies such as the state police.
We used their helicopter, we used boats, we did tracks, we were out in the woods in the mud, and we did an extensive camera search because he was seen on some video on the 13th.
The only other lead before the finding of his body was when a man found Achim's phone under the South End Bridge 11 days after his disappearance at the same location it was last pinged. Springfield Police Captain Trent Duda wants to reiterate that man is not considered a suspect.
We interviewed him at length, talked to him, we went through the phone. There was nothing of value really that we could use on the phone.
Many who saw Achim at Samuels the night he went missing says he was visibly intoxicated at the time he was asked to leave by bouncers at the bar for allegedly inappropriately flirting with a woman. That has many asking if Samuels will face any kind of consequences, but police say
We're not really sure how we're going to proceed with that, but it's still ongoing, that part of the investigation.
In a statement to Western Mass News, Samuels at the Hall of Fame says Achim was a familiar face at Sam's. Our hearts are broken and we're sickened over this. Clapprood says that as the investigation continues, she hopes that this is something that never happens again.
If you have a friend who looks in distress, stay with that person and make sure you're getting that person home safely.
And it is worth repeating that Achim was alone at Samuels the night that he went missing, and also alone later when spotted on street cameras. Coming up at 6, we have a number of exclusive interviews with those that knew Achim, as well as speaking again to the man who alerted police to Achim's body and how he's feeling now today.
Achim Bailey's parents are speaking out for the first time since their son was found floating in the Connecticut River 12 days ago, 2 months after he was reported missing. I'm Dave Matson, Western Mass News reporter James Villalobos here now. He's been following this story exclusively. He's here now with what they had to say to him tonight. James.
Yeah, well, Dave, as you can imagine, it's been an incredibly difficult last 12 days for the family, and this is not the ending that they wanted or expected. And even though Achim's body has been found, they say they still don't have the closure that they need. The Baileys sat down with me again today in their living room to tell me more about how they're coping. This was the scene on Friday, March 15th, the day that Achim Bailey's body was pulled from the Connecticut River in Longmeadow. His dad, Hugh, tells Western Mass News that they watched it all unfold on TV.
I was actually laying right here on the couch watching the news when the word broke that there was a body that was recovered from the water. And then about 5 minutes later, the detective came and says, you know, both Detective Lopez and the Longmeadow police came and informed us that the body matched the identity of Achim Bailey.
His parents say they felt blindsided that day.
But they wasn't quite sure if it was. They said matches, but they wasn't sure, and we wasn't invited to go down to see the body. And I just thought we should have gone down.
The Baileys say they never saw the body on that Friday. They say they received official confirmation from police 2 days later that the chief medical examiner's office positively identified the body as being Achim's.
I was kind of shocked, and surprised, because, we were always praying and hoping that he'll come back alive, We never expected this kind of news, It's really, really heartbroken.
It was news that broke not only their hearts, but that of the community that has been closely following the story about Achim's disappearance for 2 months. Hugh Bailey says it's because of the type of person that Achim was that so many rallied behind getting him home.
He was just different. It was just a different kind of son. He was just really loving, kind-hearted. He would do anything for anyone. Strangers, friends, and his friends can always tell you, they can always count on Achim.
They say Achim had a number of plans in life, but now
It's just so heartbroken that I'm not going to be able to be here to finish that.
even though the body has been identified as Achim's, the family still has not been able to see the body. Without that, they say they can't have closure.
We just want to know if that's really him or not.
Police say there were no signs of foul play, but his parents say they know their son and that there's no way he went into the river by himself. As they wait for answers, his dad says he's dreading what comes next.
No parents wants to bury their child, and that's why it's just so tough. It's just so heartbroken. I'm at a point where I don't even know if I can even go through with a burial.
The Baileys tell me that Detective John Lopez is still investigating what happened to him the night he went missing and how he may have ended up in the river. So they are continuing to ask the public to send any tips that you may have to Detective Lopez. The Baileys are also pleading to local officials to allow them to see their son one last time.
The community continues to come together to honor Achim Bailey, the 23-year-old Springfield man who'd gone missing in January. His body found in the Connecticut River last month. Western Mass News reporter James Villalobos has a look at how his college is honoring his life.
Achim Bailey would have graduated from Westfield State next month, and it was standing room only Tuesday night at a vigil to honor him. News of his disappearance and later his death continues to have an impact on his fellow students and faculty. Song, prayer, and tears filled Westfield State's Interfaith Center Tuesday night.
This is so hard. You know, I cannot even imagine what the family's going through.
Amma Bigby went to high school with Achim and attended the vigil organized by Achim's friends on campus.
The most important thing that we can do as a community is show compassion, to show great care and great love. So the students actually wanted to make sure that they had an opportunity to express their love and compassion for Achim and his family.
Achim's family was at the service to hear both faculty and Achim's classmates share stories about him.
This beautiful soul, this humble soul on campus touched a lot of people's hearts. And so seeing the students react to the loss of someone so close to them made me become even more sensitive.
He was loved. He was a sweet guy. In high school, literally, he makes everybody laugh. And when we were in the CAF, everybody knew Achim. So it's very important to come and just to support and just, it's heartbreaking. So just being here is important.
The university honoring Achim with a poster in the school's dining common right where he would always eat his lunch. Andrea Murphy didn't know Achim, but says he had an impact on so many lives, including hers.
I've never seen Westfield come together as quickly and as lovingly as they did in this situation. Obviously, it was a tragic situation, but it was just really nice and a sweet thing to see this campus come together.
Those attending told me they just want Achim's family to know how much they are loved and supported during this difficult time.
Once an owl, always an owl. Achim will always be in our hearts, and that he will deeply be missed.
Achim is loved. He's loved, and he is smiling down on us, and there's nothing else I can say, but I am so sorry.
That poster of Achim that you saw in the story will soon be placed permanently in the school's campus center. He will also be honored with a posthumous degree at next month's graduation. His parents tell me that they will be there to accept it.
A community in mourning comes together tonight. I'm Dave Batson. It's good to have you with us on this Friday, close to 2 months after his body was found floating in the Connecticut River. Friends, family, and even people who didn't know him gathered to celebrate the life of Achim Bailey. Western Mass News was the only local media outlet invited to the service. James Villalobos has been following this story since the very beginning. He's here with more tonight about the impact that Achim's story has had on people. James?
Well, David, has been through Western Mass News' exclusive reporting on Achim's disappearance that the community has rallied behind this family as they search for answers as to what happened to him the night of January 13th. For the first time, many of them were able to come together to honor a man who many did not even know. Hundreds of people packed the St. John's Congregational Church Friday night to honor the man several people knew, but many others got to know following his disappearance. They included Damaris Torres, who says she has followed his story since the beginning.
It didn't end the way everybody had hoped. You know, we were all hoping that he would be found safe and alive, and unfortunately that wasn't the case.
Even though she didn't know his family, Damaris tells Western Mass News that it was important for her to attend the service to show her support. But those who did know Achim say they still cannot believe that he's gone.
I was hoping everything was a lie. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was hoping I could see him again.
HCC President Christine Royal also didn't know Achim. She tells Western Mass News that the turnout for the service says it all about the kind of person that Achim was.
A lot of people know Achim, and he's touched a lot of lives, and by extension, many other lives. And I think the ceremony today, both the celebration of life and the turnout, was a tribute to that.
We didn't deserve him. We didn't. We took him for granted. His life, him being here, we all took that for granted. He was there for everybody, wanted great for everybody. But nobody was there for him, including myself.
Other friends, such as Tomlin, too distraught at times to even speak.
I love you, man. I'm sorry.
Friend or even complete strangers, Achim's death had an impact on many.
You know, growing up in Springfield, a lot of people say it's not the greatest place to live, but it really is, especially when you have communities like this coming together. You know, and it's just, I want to be able to show my love and support for this family.
Achim's lifelong dentist, Dr. Rob Matthews, who donated thousands of dollars towards the reward, hoping for Achim's safe return, says he hopes a tragedy like this doesn't happen to another family.
We count our blessings and thank God for what we do have. And every time one of our children comes home safe, it's something that we never take for granted.
Now, the circumstances into how Achim ended up in the Connecticut River is still under investigation by Springfield Police Detective John Lopez